everyone, I'm Alex and I'm the hands behind Lovecraft Crochet. My plushies are for the anxious, depressed, autistic, and neurodivergent. Small enough to travel in a purse, backpack, diaper bag, or even your pocket. You can check out my Facebook page or TikTok to see what patterns are available and stay tuned for the new ones coming out. I also make hats, scarves, blankets, and dice bags for the tabletop gamer or dice goblin in your life. Feel free to order through the page, TikTok DMs, or via email at love.craft.crochet@gmail.com. Now, on to the segment.
If you like paranormal, true crime, and some cryptids, or just anything weird, check out Ouch! Was That a Ghost? Brought to you by your host, Liz. You can find Ouch! Was That a Ghost on Spotify, Apple, or any audio platform. New episodes drop every Thursday.
Due to the graphic and disturbing nature of the crimes discussed, listener discretion is advised. Retrostatic Radio presents Killing 15 Minutes.
Hello and welcome to Killing 15 Minutes, where you get your true crime fix in 15 minutes or less, or your podcast is free. I'm your writer, Sam Rossi, and shortly I'll be handing over a rough draft of a script to my brother, AJ, who hasn't read it, who's most likely has no idea what we're talking about. This should be fun. Good luck, bro.
Thanks, Sam, for not choosing a highway this time.
I aim to please.
Well, that's because shout out to Megan, who requested this case during our live stream when we went on a 31-hour road trip. And we will be doing another one the 27th of April.
Okay, so I'll set up a event, and we'll have it where we do the same thing over again.
Exactly.
Sounds good.
And we might do it for more than an hour if more people show up. Thank you for showing up, Megan. And also a shout out to Ouch! Was That a Ghost for their version of this case. If you want something slightly less unhinged and probably more longer, with more details and everything like that, check them out. In the early morning hours of June 10th, 1912, in the town of Villisca, Iowa, 6 members of the Moore family and 2 house guests were brutally murdered. Oh, hey, I remember this case. An affluent family, the Moores were known and well-liked in their community. Josiah B., also known as J.B., and wife Sarah were pillars of their community. They had 4 children, ranging in ages from 11 and 5. This is where we talk about, you want to put the 5 first and 11. Okay?
I was doing it from the oldest to youngest.
You don't do ranges that way, Sam! Their 2 house guests were young Stillinger sisters, aged 8 and 12. Not 12 and 8. You go lowest to highest. God damn. I don't know why that triggered me. I'm so sorry for yelling. On June 9th, 1912, a Sunday, the family and their guests were last seen leaving the Presbyterian church, where Sarah was a coordinator. It was around 9:30 p.m., making their arrival at home around 10 p.m. at the latest. Around 7 a.m. on June 10th, Mary Peckham noticed her neighbors were quiet. The farm was dark, and none of the animals had been let out. She couldn't see any movement and went to check on the Moores. After knocking, she found the doors were locked, which was quite unusual. Peckham let the chickens out and went to call Ross Moore, JB's brother. Ross came over. See, notice how using the person's first name when you're talking about a family really solidifies who the person you're talking about is. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know why I'm a dick to you today. I don't mean to be an asshole, but thank you for writing better. Ross came over with a key to check on his brother. Once in the house, he went through the parlor. There's an R in the word parlor, just to let you know.
Yeah.
And checked the guest room, finding the Stillinger sisters. He rushed out and said that they need to call Hank Horton. Horton was the primary peace officer of Villisca. Villisca? Villisca? Really? Okay. Horton arrived shortly after being called. He found both parents in bed, their heads covered by cloths. Or clothes. It's supposed to be cloths or clothes?
Cloth.
Okay,
Well, actually, no, clothes. Clothes.
Is it closed?
It's closed.
Okay. He opened the curtains and the room was covered in blood. Horton found the children in another upstairs bedroom. Horton exited the house and said that there was a body in every bed. The murder weapon was the family's own axe. It would determine that JB was killed first, with Sarah next, then the children before the sisters. The axe was found in the guest room. At some point, the killer took a 416 slab.
4 pound.
Oh, that's not how you... That's 416. That is 416. Do you agree or disagree? Okay, so at some point, the killer took a 4-pound slab of bacon and left it next to the axe. You know, I'm just confused by this. Is there a reason? Do they have a reason? I need a reason for why the 4-pound slab of bacon is next to the axe.
In the guest room.
Investigators found the untouched food and a bowl of bloody water. The killer covered every window and mirror in the house, and everybody's face was covered. Over time, a few suspects rose to the top. We have the traveling reverend, a state senator via a hitman, and possibly your average run-of-the-mill serial killer. Reverend George Kelly was British and was in town at the time of the murders. Kelly was known as a peeping Tom. On July 8, 1912, he came to Villisca to teach at the church and would have seen the family there. He would confess and be tried twice. The first trial was a hung jury. There were 11 total acquittals.
11 to quit.
Oh, they were 11-1 to acquit. The second was just another acquittal. That was in 1917. State Senator Frank F. Jones was the former boss and business competitor of JB's. Supposedly, JB was sleeping with Jones's daughter-in-law also. That was the town operator. In revenge, he would allegedly hire a hitman, William Blackie Mansfield. In this theory, Mansfield was responsible for multiple axe murders throughout the Midwestern United States. There is no proof he was in Villisca at the time, and no proof that he even knew Jones. Oh, okay, so Mansfield was a known axe murderer, so it was sort of like the Casanova killer, O.J. Simpson theory, essentially.
Yes. Kinda, yeah. He had
he was a known... He
had
killed.
used axes to kill before.
Yeah. So the theory is just, again, it's the same thing where it's like, O.J. didn't kill his wife, allegedly. He had the Casanova killer do it.
Yes.
Or it's just a happy coincidence.
Happy coincidence.
That the Casanova killer did it.
Right.
Sort of thing. In 2017, Bill James and his daughter wrote The Man from the Train, where they discuss a possible serial killer. One who ran the rails, killing families along the way with an axe. They named a Paul Mueller, or Miller, a German immigrant wanted in 1897 for murder in West Brookfield, Massachusetts. He had never been caught. Now in 2024, for $478 a night, you can stay in the house. Supposedly, it is haunted. Every house is haunted. Multiple paranormal teams have investigated and gotten, air quote, evidence. Yes, I'm not going to just say they've gotten evidence about ghosts. I will always be, ghost teams don't know shit about damn. Decided not to use the hard F there. Where would we like to break this down first? Firstly, was he forced to confess, the Reverend?
No, I believe that he confessed after hours of interrogation, so maybe.
Especially in the early 1900s, you know.
Yeah.
I prefer the late 1900s when it comes to interrogation methods. Same basic thing, except it's
Videotaped.
But it is one of those things where it is, I'm assuming it's more the peace officer found the guy who just came into town.
Well, he had left the morning after the murders occurred, but before the bodies had been found.
Oh, okay.
And he came back and was all about getting as much information as possible, including saying that he was from Scotland Yard.
Oh, so you left out a huge chunk of this.
Maybe.
See, this is why if you want good journalism, I don't like calling it journalism. No offense to Ouch when it comes to that, but if you want the good people who know what the hell they're talking about. But this is also why I ask you, because you do have the information.
Yes.
You just sometimes don't write it down.
Well, I didn't think that him going back to the cops, saying
pretending to be Scotland Yard to get information on a murder that happened the night he happened to leave town in a place that he's linked to because he worked for the church. I'm assuming the Presbyterian church, the same one that
she was a coordinator at. Yes.
And you didn't think it was pertinent information.
I was worried it was going to make us run over. And
don't forget that little bush there. But anyways, enough grilling you. So what do you think? Actually, I would really love to get a copy of The Man on the Train. Because I'm assuming they link a lot of different killings.
Yeah, including the New Orleans Axe Murders.
It was Unsolved.
Yes, which we haven't done that one yet.
We haven't, but I do know about that one from... I don't want to say it was Unsolved Mysteries.
No, it wasn't Unsolved Mysteries, but it
might have been FBI Files or...
No, because they don't have any FBI Files. Usually has a wrap up.
Oh, that's fair. I don't know, but I remember it from somewhere because it was
Because there was also an axe murder there was an axe murder of an entire family in Oklahoma City. There was another one.
But anyways, again, that's something we can look at later because I do like the idea of similar with how we did last week with the ghost of Highway 20. I like the idea of actually looking at theories of crimes. Like, the Man on the Train, or even the Smiley killings. Have you seen that?
The Smiley Face Killers?
Yeah.
Which version?
I don't, not the one that was on Discovery.
With
where it's like all these mysterious deaths always have a smiley near them, and it's like, but again, for me, that's similar to Missing 411, where it's like, yeah, but now you're looking for corroboration of your theory. You're not.
There's not enough to, yeah.
Because like some of the smileys that were linked to him is like, yeah, on the other side of the city of New York, there's a smiley on a wall in an alleyway.
Yeah.
I use hyperbole there, but it is one of those things like, well, 5 blocks down, there's a smiley.
Yeah.
Amongst all the other graffiti.
I watched that one, and I wanted to believe them to link it, but it made no sense to link it because you couldn't link it.
Well, it's sort of, I always like the concept of like a cult, because it's always, oh yeah, this smiley killer's in, Atlanta, Georgia. This one's in Baton Rouge. This one is in Oxford, Connecticut. You know what I mean? It's always like, okay, so are they on like a message board? I wouldn't put it past some Redditors to have a secret killer cult, but there needs to be a linking bridge. You can't just be like...
No, there needs to be more.
So, but something like that, where this would be an interesting notion to...
Yeah, that book would be interesting to read.
So anyways, but on to this case. I don't think... On one hand, it's 1912. That's the problem. You know what I mean? It is early 1900s.
1900th.
Yes. So you're not going to get the alien... Like, there are alienists, which is what forensics were called previous to...
That's how they figured out that JB was the first one killed.
Right. There are certain ways that, and it's something that a lot of people kind of forget. There was none. It was a lot more intuitive based on experience.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If someone had never seen a massacred family before. Let me rephrase that. There's a lot of people who haven't seen a massacred family. But if they hadn't seen, oh, we know that he was the first killed because, the crusting of the blood versus,
Right.
It is more intuitive. It's not necessarily taught the way we teach it now. We're even, not necessarily beat cops, but, you have regular detectives who at least have some certification fields.
Yes.
We don't have they didn't have giant bug farms back then to notice the different decaying in bodies. That sort of thing.
That's true.
But you do still have some alienness. But I don't know if I want to... Because the new information on the Reverend, I was going to say, that's why I asked, how long was his interrogation? Because natural assumption for a small town, I assume it's a small town. I've never heard of it before. Would be like, hey, everyone just got killed in that house. You're new. Let's fuck you up until you say you did it.
Yeah. But I don't think that's how it rolled. It didn't sound like that with how I was reading it.
No, and that's fair. It is a matter of I only can glean what you tell me.
I understand, and I try to give you as much information.
You finish that fucking sentence, I'm going to smack you in the face.
I tried to give you enough information to glean.
To make me look a fool?
Yes. To make you
I don't
look
know
a
how
fool.
much of this you're keeping in. We're already past 15 minutes. But anyways, I think it's actually really interesting. Actually, we can cut probably a minute of dead air out. But I do find it interesting because it is one of those things where once a suspect is in place, you can put in the pieces to figure out why it happened.
Yep.
Versus looking at just the crime scene. It's something interesting to me, and I'm assuming a lot of people when it comes to true crime, is seeing how the dominoes fell.
Yes.
And it's why you can get, you can get crime blue balls when there's either too many suspects and not enough dominoes to make a pattern.
Or too many dominoes to make a pattern.
It's that John Benet Ramsey thing.
It really is.
And I always bring up John Benet because it is one of those. If I was the cop if I had to, I would just arrest everyone because it makes my life easier. Because there is so much evidence to point to each individual family member, but then there's also ones that don't close the circuit.
No, and that's the problem is that we're missing pieces to the puzzle to be able to glean who could have killed him.
Could a senator in 1912 turn around and go, hey, I want you to fucking off that guy? Absolutely.
But you gotta
Senators will do that now.
Yeah, so
it is a matter of...
Do I think he did it? No. Based on the fact that there's not enough reasoning to.
Like, if hypothetically, we discovered he was in, a town 15 miles away, or in whatever major city is near Villisca, then you might be able to turn around and go, well, yeah, I guess he could take 20 minutes to, drive out.
Right, but you gotta think that that's 20 minutes, at doing 55.
In 1912?
Yeah, I don't remember what the fastest car is.
In 1912, how would I know that? But either way, the point is that...
No, I'm just saying that cars weren't...
It is a matter of, you could turn around and be like, okay, he was, if he was closer, then it's a possible, not a probable, but just on the board.
It's on the board, but he's not on the board. Outside of being a business competitor, he's not on the board.
Serial killer, highly probable.
Could be completely possible.
Hell, could have been one of the neighbors.
It's always could be a neighbor.
That's fair too.
All right, wrap it up.
Okay, so wow, guess this one won't be free. I'm AJ Carey.
I'm Sam Rossi. Later, y'all.
Killing 15 Minutes is hosted by Arthur Carey, with scripts written and researched by Sam Rossi. If you like this episode or want to stay updated on this series, consider following Killing 15 Minutes on Patreon or Retrostatic Radio on all major social media platforms. Good night and God bless.
You're watching Retrostatic Radio.
Wheel of Random is turn, turn, turn. Tell us the 15 minutes we shall learn.
I'm Sam Rossi, writer and co-host of Randomly 15 Minutes, where the wheel of randomness gives me the topic and I write about it.
I'm Megan Klodnicki, and I'm the host of Randomly 15 Minutes. I cold read what Sam writes and learn in real time about a random topic.
You can find us on all major podcast platforms and YouTube.
Follow us on Facebook at Randomly 15 Minutes to get more random facts.